Why cracking your neck can give you a stroke. You tilt your head, you put a hand on your chin, and you pull until you hear it. That deep, satisfying crunch at the base of your skull. And the tension of 8 hours at a screen finally lets go. It feels like relief. It feels like nothing. An inch beneath the spot your fingers just twisted, there is an artery carrying blood directly to the base of your brain. And unlike almost every other major vessel in your body, it does not run through soft, protected tissue where it can move out of the way. It is threaded through holes drilled in the bones you just forced past their limit. But before you can understand what that motion actually risks, you have to understand where your arteries are hiding, because your neck is built unlike anywhere else in you. Most people assume cracking your neck is the same as cracking your knuckles. Same sound, same feeling, same harmless release of gas from a joint. And in terms of the pop itself, that's roughly true. But your knuckles don't have a major artery to your brain running through the middle of the moving bones. Your neck does. The vertebral artery climbs up the back of your neck, and it doesn't run alongside the spine. It runs inside it. Each of your cervical vertebrae has a small, rigid hole in it, and the artery is threaded up through that stack of holes like a soft straw pushed through a tower of blocks. Which means every time those blocks move, the straw moves with them, whether it wants to or not. Under normal motion, this is fine. The artery is built to stretch when you turn to check your blind spot. But it is designed for the range your neck actually has, not for the extra inch you force with your hands to get the sound you want. And the wall of that artery is layered, like plywood. If a sudden twist stretches it far enough, the innermost layer can tear, a flap lifts on the inside of the vessel. And then blood, which is under pressure, does exactly what pressure does. It finds the opening and drives into it. It gets under the flap and forces the layers of the artery wall apart from the inside. The wall begins to fill with blood, ballooning inward, narrowing the channel the blood is supposed to be flowing through. That's a cervical artery dissection. And the danger isn't only the narrowing. It's that a tear inside an artery is a magnet for clotting. A clot forms at the site, and it sits there in an artery that runs directly up into your brain. If it breaks loose, there is nowhere for it to go but forward. Up. It travels until it reaches a vessel too small to pass through, and there it stops. And every brain cell downstream of that point stops receiving oxygen. Your neurons hold no reserve. They begin dying in minutes. That's a stroke. Not from cholesterol, not from age, from a tear. And here is the number that should stop you. Cervical artery dissection is one of the leading causes of stroke in the young. According to the American Heart Association, dissections account for somewhere between 8 and 25% of all strokes in people under 45. Read the top of that range again. Up to a quarter of strokes in young adults trace back to a torn artery in the neck. Not a lifetime of bad habits, a tear. Now, I have to be straight with you here because the honest version of this story is more unsettling than the scary one. The American Heart Association did publish a statement on this, but it did not say that neck manipulation definitely causes dissections. It said there is a statistical association, and then it said something far more disturbing. It said the direction of that association is unclear. Because here is the problem the researchers cannot get around. A dissection, once it starts, causes neck pain and headache. That is one of its most common early symptoms. So when someone shows up with a dissection right after a neck manipulation, nobody can tell which came first. Did the twist tear the artery? Or was the artery already tearing, and the pain from that tear is exactly what sent them looking for someone to crack their neck? Sit with that, because it means the warning sign of this injury And the reason you'd reach up and do it again are the same sensation. A dull ache at the base of the skull, a stiffness that won't shift, a headache that came out of nowhere a couple of days ago. You feel it, and your hand goes to your chin, because that's what you do when your neck hurts. And if a tear is already open in there, you are twisting the injured artery again and driving pressurized blood further into an open wound. The clot doesn't have to break loose immediately either. It can sit there and grow for days, for weeks. You could crack your neck on a Tuesday, notice some stiffness Thursday, go to bed on Saturday assuming you slept on it wrong, and wake up unable to speak or unable to move one side of your body. Some don't wake up at all. So let me be clear about what is and isn't proven, because it matters. Millions of people crack their necks every day and nothing happens. The AHA's own conclusion was not that this is a proven killer. It was that patients should be told about the association before anyone twists their cervical spine. That's it. That's the honest state of the evidence. But look at what nobody disputes. The artery is real. Its path through the bone is real. The tear is real. And it happens to young, healthy people. And it causes a significant share of the strokes they suffer. Dissections have been documented after coughing fits, after painting a ceiling, after roller coasters, after being tipped back at a hair salon sink. The forces required are not always dramatic. That's the actual finding. Not that neck cracking is a guaranteed catastrophe, but that the artery is exposed enough that ordinary life has, on occasion, been enough. So, go back to that moment. Your hand on your chin, the tension building, the pop you're about to chase. Nothing will probably happen. Nothing ever has. But now you know what's running through the bone under your fingers, and that the only warning it ever gives you is the exact feeling that makes you want to do it again.